Proteus, and I haven't shaved, I haven't showered, and I haven't brushed. I've spent the whole week suffering from a cold. I'm still a little bit snotty. Um, so yeah, I felt like talking about Thomas-related stuff, but it would kind of lack focus if I just ranted about stuff. The thing I really wanted to talk about was ghosts and magic, but I can honestly spend hours talking about that. Um, I am quite proud of it. I don't think it'll be a sort of magnum optic thing for me, but it is a significant project because I wanted to write something about Proteus since I joined SIF. So, to give this thing a little bit of focus, I asked some YouTubers to ask me questions. I got about 7 responses for my video, I think. I have not looked at the questions. So I'll assign it to YouTube. And if any of you have keen ears out there and can hear me typing my password, this is just on the off chance that you can tell which keys I'm typing just by the sound they make. So, yeah, boo, sucks to you. Is this a new and I think it's an old one. Inbox. Comments. And let the A-ing begin. Actually, there's only the one, so I'll open up the video. Now let the A-ing begin. There we go. I'll start at the bottom, because that's most likely the first person to ask a question. Alright, question 1 comes from N64ization, who asks, what is your favorite movie? My favorite movie is Goodfellas. Countless times my dad has asked me, what is it about Goodfellas that appeals to you? And my answer is always, I don't know. I like the acting. I like the story. The music's pretty good. And my and I like Joe Pesci. And I look at De Niro's performance in it, and I can't believe some of the crap he's been doing lately. Come on, this guy did Goodfellas. Cough. I'll be warning you whenever I do that, in case my microphone pops. Other movies I like are so yeah, Goodfellas. I watch that whenever I'm writing something. Same with like George Carlin or John Panette or the only 3 good Home Alone movies. Those are favorites of mine. 'Cause I don't like working or sleeping, for that matter, in complete silence. I need some sort of white noise. Fans work. I don't have my fan on right now, by the way, because it'll just interfere with the sound. Pardon me. So while I'm writing something, I'll probably have on George Carlin or John Panette or It Ain't Half Hot Mum, or I'll throw in a DVD. I've got Goodfellas over there, along with Blue Harvest, Across the Second Dimension, Still Hungry. Can't make out the rest. I think I've got an Austin Powers one there. I don't see it. So I'll throw them on just so I have something to listen to, but I don't pay too much attention to it. Just gives me something to work to. So yeah, other favorite movies are ones I've listed. I really enjoy Titfield Thunderbolt. Oop, sorry, I didn't warn you. Cough. Yeah, alright. So, like I said, I don't have my fan on. I'm drinking a Coke. Because, yes, I'm a hairy, greasy freak in my basement. And it's hot down here. You wouldn't think. So, yeah, favorite movie, Goodfellas. Don't have a definitive answer. I like the acting and the story. But but somehow that's not an answer my dad's satisfied with. He's asked me quite a few times. Most of the time, whenever we're driving and Goodfellas comes up in conversation for whatever reason, he'll go, "What is it about Goodfellas that appeals to you?" And I'll say, "I like the acting. I like the story." Cough. I have cough drops there, but they taste like crap. Yeah, my favorite movie is Goodfellas. Question 2 comes from Dom the Hornby fan 67. What gave you the idea for Ghosts and Magic? I love you, dude. All right. Well, like I said, I wanted to write Ghosts and Magic or something about Proteus since I joined SIF under the name Proteus. Simply because even though he showed up for like 3 seconds in the episode The Magic Lamp, I thought the whole story was interesting. He has a magic lamp, which is very bright, and he lost it, and he said if anyone found it, their wish would come true. And there are 3 signs to tell you when the lamp is near, the third one being very, very obvious. So, I was kicking around some ideas. I did a bit of a no-no in big story writing in that I tried to cram a lot of characters in it, and I've since learned that that's not really a good idea. But I can defend every choice I made. I mean, I left a lot of characters out. Like, George, couldn't write him in. Harold, couldn't write him in. Oh, by the way, I wanted to include characters that have had something to do with the narrow gauge episodes. Like Madge, that's a pretty big one. She was only ever seen in narrow gauge episodes. I guess with the possible exception of The Great Discovery, but that's a special. What's next? Other characters like Thomas and James. I was deeply ashamed to include Thomas, but I can justify it because the thing is, in Toby's discovery, Thomas was the one who told Toby the story of the old warrior. So that's why he's got a comment on it to James. I included Henry because Peter, Sam, and the Refreshment Lady is an episode I remember quite fondly. Cough. And what other ones? Some locations like Elephant Park, Proteus Statue Park, the Woodland Way, the Old Iron Bridge, of course. Those were included. Others like the characters like the Refreshment Lady and Nancy, Colin. Yeah, but characters like George, who was introduced in a narrow gauge episode, Harold, who played a part in The Magic Lamp, and Elizabeth, who was in Rusty Saves the Day and Faulty Whistles. Couldn't include them. Interestingly enough, when it came to Stepney, who cropped in mind because in the TV series he was introduced in Rusty to the Rescue. Rusty was, of course, a narrow gauge engine. Sorry to blow your mind. This episode, I think I actually commented on this when I posted my Rusty to the Rescue riff. I feel very conflicted at this stage because when I was a kid, I didn't know what the Railway series was until early childhood. I got some books, and I'm like, wow, so this is where it all came from. This is pretty awesome, and there's some new stories, and they came to Bluebells of England. I'm like, it's a real railway? Why the heck did Rust... Yeah. And so I'm quite conflicted because when I was a kid, I really liked Rusty to the Rescue, but I really don't like the fact that the story couldn't, for whatever reason, say that the Bluebell Railway was a real place and Stepney was visiting from there. Why did Rusty have to save him from scrap from the other railway? That's totally not what happened. I'm very conflicted. So when Stepney came to my mind when I thought of what characters to include in Ghosts and Magic, I said no. I liked Rusty to the Rescue, but I really don't like the way he's represented in the TV series. And at this time, Stepney was away for overhaul, the real Stepney. And somebody, I think it might have been Christopher, was comment. It was at that time that season 12 was airing, coming out. And if you'll recall Rosie's Funfair special, Stepney was in it. Cough. And he had a different whistle. And at that time, the real Stepney was withdrawn. And I thought, if Milhauser is going to have the power of illusion, maybe he could trick Peter Sam into thinking he's Stepney, not knowing that he's been taken out of service. And I could play on that dumb whistle they gave him, which is very obviously Thomas's whistle toned down a bit. Milhauser. Then I got the name from the author of a book. I'm looking it up because I can't remember what it is. No, this isn't it. This is a film. I'm talking about a book. I have a feeling the name Vincent. Yes, novel. Oop, that's not it. Damn it. I may have to pause this. Aha. It's the name came from a short story author, Stephen Milhauser, who wrote Eisenheim the Illusionist. There we go. Cough. I could have put this off for another day, but I did say by the 6th, and at the time I posted the video, I didn't have a cold. So, I also tried to cram a lot of supernatural things that have been established in Thomas canon in this thing, not just ghosts, any supernatural thing. Like the ghosts that feature in here are Proteus, even though he wasn't really a ghost in the Magic Lamp. He is one now. Milhauser, the engine who fell off the old Iron Bridge, and the Old Warrior. Other supernatural things I've included are the Boulder, the Man in the Hills, and this sort of subtly explains why nobody saw him earlier, because it's in an obvious spot. It's because he moves from hill to hill, depending on the situation. And even the Naughty Gnomes. Drink. What really made this story take off was when I visited the UK in the summer of 2009. And I went on a ghost walk in York. So that's where the whole ghost walk thing came from. That's all I could say for what gave me the idea, I suppose. Just oh, I forgot about Mary Marvel as a character. She wasn't named until season 12, but she was introduced in season 11, I believe. And apparently she writes a lot of stories about Proteus, so that's where that came from. So I'll just say one more thing about Ghosts of Magic, and then I'll carry on. I wanted to release it before Blue Mountain Mystery came out, because I didn't want them to beat me to telling a big narrow gauge story. Oh, I'm such a dick. I would talk about Blue Mountain Mystery, but I have a feeling that's going to come up in one of the questions. So I won't. I'll just say one thing I'm proud of in Ghosts of Magic is the inclusion of the crews. I'm really happy I was able to give Peter Sams and Duncan's and some of the other engines crews. Good, bit decent roles and occasionally funny lines. So yeah, idea for Ghosts of Magic. I've wanted to write something about Proteus since I joined SIF under the name Proteus, and what really kicked this thing off was when I went on a ghost walk in York in 2009. Question 3 comes from Mr. Conductor Fan 1406. What are your favorite Thomas the Tank Engine episodes, seasons, and specials? Season 3 will always hold a special place in my heart, simply because when I was young, it was episodes from that season that I watched a lot. Buzz Buzz, Bulgy, Heroes, Thomas Percy and the Dragon, Henry's Forest, One Good Turn, Tender Engines, Time for Trouble. Those are all episodes I remember fondly. My favorite episode is Ghost Train. Here's a funny story, though. When I was a kid, Thomas's face, his new scared face, scared the shit out of me. Which was a shame because I liked the episodes then, but I could not bear to look at his face. It had to, I think it was his eyes. They were so bulgy. That's funny. Cough. I gotta remember to warn you when I'm gonna cough. Blow my nose. If you'll recall, Alaric, in his audio commentary of Trouble in the Shed, he grossed everyone out by blowing his nose and didn't have a tissue. I most certainly do have a tissue. I'll bet when I recorded myself watching Thomas Toots the Crows, I annoyed a lot of people, because I had a cold then. And I was sniffling a lot. In future, I'll try not to do any recording when I'm cold laden. I don't know if I put that right. The curses of having a mustache. I think it had to be Thomas's wide, bulging eyes. It looked like they were going to come out of his face. I think that's what freaked me out. I got over it about a decade ago. If that. The same goes for James's new scared face in Buzz Buzz, actually. Like when he looks up, like, where'd the bee go? His bulging eyes freaked me out. Those ones freaked me out too. Also, for some reason, in Henry and the Elephant, I'd seen that scared face on Henry several times, but in the close-up, after the workmen run out of the tunnel, that used to freak me out, and I don't know why. His eyes weren't really bulging out. He still had that sort of half-moon shape going on. I really don't know what it was. As I got older, the bulging eyes didn't quite freak me out as much. Like, I didn't freak out in Gordon Takes a Tumble. He had a couple of close-ups with that new expression from Season 3. And he always has the half-moon eyes, but his eyes bulging out of his head like that. Yeah, that didn't freak me out. I don't know why. It ought to have, by the bulging eye logic. One more tissue. Other favorite episodes of mine would include Special Attraction, Toad Stands By, Heroes, Horrid Lorries, Jack Jumps In, and A Friend in Need. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. Specials? The specials... I liked the fight in Calling All Engines, but the special itself kind of sucked. Kind of. It it was essentially Season 8 bad. with all the engines driving themselves, and at least there was some logic to it. What's next? Hero of the Rails. It's alright. Great Discovery. Alright. Misty Island Rescue. Crap. Day of the Diesels. First Class crap. Like caviar crap. Like better than Misty Island, but Blue Mountain Mystery. It's their best yet, that's for sure. It still bugs me that their crews are just basically there to do what the engines can't do. That still bugs me. Thank you for your question. Who's next? Jivio, aka Rusty Red Scrap Iron. Who and what are your top 10 favorite projects, video, audio makers, and voice actors on SIF? Oh, I'm gonna have to think about this one. Well, I'll just list off some of my favorite projects and SIF voice actors. Cough. I think my all-time favorite thing to come out of SIF is Tales from the Other Railway, because they're just so goddamn hilarious, and they feature a lot of very memorable characters that Professor Vengeance has totally exploited some of their tiny character developments. Mostly like the ones from the Railway series or Derek. Diesel, he's seen all the goddamn time on Sodor, but he's still the lead character in Tales from the Other Railway. So we know what he's like. He's devious, and in Tales from the Other Railway, it's upped a little bit. He's actually portrayed as lazy also. Old stuck-up. He was pretty much portrayed as an old stuck-up, and in keeping with this whole dining club thing we've got going on in SIF, Professor Vengeance thought it'd be appropriate to make him like a member of the dining club. The dining club! I've got my top hat. Yeah, I'll wear this for the rest of the Q&A. Oh yeah. Moving on. Bowler, he made him a germaphobe pretty much. But it does make sense because he got crap sucked into his air intake. Spam Can just kind of made him a hard ass. And Derek, he's sick all the time. Ari and Bert, like very thuggish. One's an idiot. And he's also introduced some pretty funny characters like the engines on the Scarface Railway. I like Peter Fonda. He had pink shit on. And of course we've got Bozo and Cromwell, and Mr. Bottomsley, not forgetting Mr. Bottomsley. Cough. Remember to warn you when I'm coughing. And what else? And the way he twists some well-known Thomas stories is hilarious. Like, they're very Blackadder's Christmas Carol. He just turns them upside down. It's crazy. Some standalone stuff that I really love. Does anyone remember Ringo 86's redub of Gordon Takes a Tumble? If you do, good for you, because that's one of my favorites. Because it was very well edited. It had Knuckles as Gordon, and some of the little comedy inserts were great, like Mr. Blobby, the McDonald's ad, the footage from Jaws, the use of the QI klaxon whenever an annoying catchphrase is uttered, like confusion and delay or no one was hurt. Spoilers. I'm no good at warning people. I can't warn them when I'm going to cough. I can't warn them when I'm going to spoil something. Great Chase. That's one of my top three. And which is I've heard Chris the Excellent's podcast about when during his 5-year or 4-year, was it 4-year anniversary? Memory lapse. He said that that's when his career started to go down just a little bit because he was getting nitpicks. I don't even remember who was giving them because I looked at the comments and I have a hunch who it might be. It might have been somebody who was with him on the Wales trip that year. I won't say who. Won't even give you a clue. And the ones Chris the Excellent mentioned in his podcast, I think they can be quite easily answered. Like, one of them was, what's Edward doing at Croven's Gate? He did say, at the end of his conversation with Peter Sam, I've got to go back to my branch line.
Now I'd better be off. I've got to get back to my branch line. Goodbye.
So he could have been filling in for our main line engine, delivering some goods to Croven's Gate. Whoever heard of a fight on top of a narrow gauge train with all the low bridges? They addressed that. Mr. Albert almost gets knocked off Ivo Hugh's cab roof by a bridge, and he swings into the cab to avoid it. So that danger is present. One that I may be fighting a losing battle here. Actually, the Slate Quarry was closed, and this is Railway Series canon, by the way. Is this? But it was seen in trucks. It was used in trucks. Is this just because the one on the Talyllyn Railway is closed? I love the Skarloey Railway engines, and I love the Skarloey Railway, but the one thing that bugs me about it is it shares way too many similarities with the Talyllyn Railway. I mean, engines 1 to 7 are engines 1 to 7 on the Talyllyn, just different paint scheme and faces. I know the Reverend Wilbert Audrey was trying to promote the Talyllyn Railway, promote tourism, encourage people to go there, but there are like when he promoted the Snowdon Railway and Mountain Engines and the Ravenglass and Eskdale Railway and small railway engines. There were other narrow gauge railways that he could have represented just on the Skarloey Railway. The only other Railway Series character who wasn't a copy of a Talyllyn Railway engine was Duke. He's based on a Festiniog engine. I believe it's a Festiniog engine. Cough. For this reason, the reason that the Skarloey Railway shares, as far as I think, too many similarities with the Talyllyn is this is why I like characters like Mighty Mac and Freddy and Luke. Freddy's another Festiniog to join Duke, another Festiniog engine, and he's interesting as hell. He's double-ended. He'd be that'd set the writers up for a lot of stories if only they remembered who he was, but they don't. He got one episode to himself, and ended up with a bunch of cameos afterwards. There's a lot you could do with a two-faced engine. Freddy, he's a Hunslet, I believe. He's based on an engine named Russell. And I've redubbed 2 episodes that had him as a main character because I think he's kind of interesting. Luke, he's a Wren. So he's sort of like a cousin of Peter Sams. I can't think of any others. I don't think there were any others. So, yeah, that's my outburst about the Scarloey sharing too many obvious similarities with the Talclin. I think my cat may join me soon. I heard her meowing. My cat spent the last couple of days looking for a mouse that she brought in. She keeps doing that. Brought in a mouse, and it got away and scurried under the piano and climbed up it. I managed to catch it today. Stupid cat. So I can't really think of any others. Just not off the top of my head. I mean, I really like Tales from the Other Railway and Ringo 86's redub of Gordon Takes a Tumble, Great Chase. What other ones do I really enjoy? Chimera, the third Tugs audio. Cough. That was a really exciting tale. I like Jim the Jinx. Third story from technically fourth if you count Whistle Trouble from Ryan and Fox's Mid-Sodor Engines Extended Railway Series book. Cough. I'm starting to sweat. Now I'm trying to think visual. We haven't had a lot of visual media lately, have we? Oh! How could I not remember this one? Chris Burrell's Lady Hat's Birthday Party redub. The constant Mario references and Sir Top Matt swearing his head off. Those were all great. I'm gonna blow my nose. I think I may have to compile a list. I'll have to go back through my files and on the fan site and determine which are my top 10 favorite projects. My favorite voice actors? Well, some well-known stalwarts like the Old Bean, Christopher, Chris. Clay, Old Square Wheels. And we've got quite a lot of up-and-comers since the Actors Corner thing. Do you remember that? We've had DM Man, MRH Loco, Davey, and we've got quite a few lesser-known ones who are really good. There's Rusty Red Scrap Iron for a start. We also have James P, Madness, Turbo J. Like I say, can't really remember off the top of my head all of them. Some of the later ones I mentioned, I find them good because over the years we've grown to recognize certain voice actors, and as good as they are, you know it's them. I used to have fun guessing who each one was. but now I can tell. Um, some of those would include like Christopher, the old Bean. As great voice actors as they are, you know it's them as soon as you hear them. Other ones like often Davey, you can't really tell it's him right off the bat. And the same goes for Rusty Red Scrap Iron, Madness, and James P. They have a variety, quite a variety of voices. But some actors like Siremai, Ryan, you know it's them right off the bat as soon as they start talking. And there's my cat. You know it's coming. Say hi, crawl space. Oh boy. How could I leave out Stuart Seven? Like, he's fantastic. He's one of those guys you can tell it's him as soon as he starts talking, but he's still a really good voice actor. Those are projects I like and voice actors I like. And nope. Who's your favorite Thomas character and/or Thomas narrator? Asks Thomas and Michael too. Favorite character, James. Second favorite, Gordon. Third, Henry. I like the big engines. Favorite narrator, George Carlin. Not just because he's a good comedian, but because, as I said, I watched mostly season 3 episodes when I was a kid, and around the time season 3 came about, he became the U.S. narrator, and his voice was also the one we heard in Canada. And I love the voices he gives certain characters. The Fat Controller, George. It's mostly characters that were introduced for the first time that he gave good voices to, like Bulgy and Bulstrode. I think he did the best Duncan voice. The cat is now on my lap. Top hat coming off. Won't be doing that again. Cough. Oh, that was quick. Okay, last question, but it's a longie. It's from Lightning63. I wish I'd known you were having a Q&A. I would have asked my favorite question that I ask for everyone for no reason. What is your favorite fizzy drink? If you don't like soda, Coke, pop, whatever, what's your favorite beverage? I could see what looks like a Coke in your hand, but I'm not sure. Oh well, I look forward to seeing the reply video when it comes. He posted this 8 hours ago. I got up 4 hours ago. So yeah, that's my favorite fizzy drink. Coke. It's very refreshing. And that's it for questions. Thanks for your questions, everyone. N64ization, Dom the Hornby fan 6097, Mr. Conductor fan 1406, Jivio, Thomas and Michael 2, and Lightning 63. You've asked me questions that I probably would have answered if I just decided to do a rant. There's still a lot more I could talk about ghosts and magic, but I won't. I'm quite satisfied. Maybe someday I'll do another one. if I feel like talking more, but this has really satisfied me. Thank you very much. How to end this thing on a fancy note? Bye bye.